is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me tonight on your Saturday night, Sunday morning. It is your WrestleMania 37 review for April 11th, 2021. Unbelievable tonight, man. We got WrestleMania in Tampa with live fans. And I gotta admit, it wasn't as bad as I expected it to be. Obviously, it wasn't a perfect show. At some points tonight, it felt like a Monday Night Raw with a MLB-sized rain delay included. But I can't hate on everything that happened on this show. No matter how big WrestleMania is, it usually always results in the build being absolutely atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. This was the biggest WrestleMania of the modern era just because of what it signified. WWE needed to deliver. I think that they did by the end of the night. It wasn't perfect. It had its ups and downs. It had its cringe moments. It had its WrestleMania moments. It had its great wrestling mixed in. But at the end of the night, I'm genuinely speaking from the heart because I love what I do so much. I love you guys. I love pro wrestling. At the end of the night, when Bianca was holding up that SmackDown Women's Championship, I didn't really get a feel. I didn't get that emotion. I didn't get that, oh my God, I can't wait to come on to the channel, to the podcast, live in front of everybody and talk WrestleMania. I don't have that energy to talk about WrestleMania like I should have, being that it was WrestleMania. Nothing really happened on this show that I would deem important. It just felt like another ordinary show. Now, I'm not saying that it was bad. I just didn't get that WrestleMania feel. And I'm not sure if I'm the only one that felt that way. I got to give WWE props tonight, man. With fans back in attendance. With fans back in attendance live at Raymond James Stadium, WWE had, I think, around 25,000 fans. I got to give WWE credit for easing up on not wanting the cardboard cutouts in attendance. Everything was made to look absolutely fantastic in the situation that WWE was in tonight. They filled that stadium to 1/3 of its full capacity, and it looked absolutely phenomenal. It did. Cardboard cutouts were involved. Fans that were not hidden behind plexiglass or fencing like we usually have seen on WWE NXT. I thought everything from the way it was set up, to the lighting, to the stage, and everything in between, it looked great. WWE really went above and beyond to give you that WrestleMania experience, even though they were operating at 1/3 capacity. Good on them. Good on them. If WWE actually put more effort into the build over the last 6 weeks, like they did the stage, we might have gotten the greatest WrestleMania of all time, but we did not. We did not. I love the pirate ship theme. I thought it was one of the best looking sets that WWE has ever produced. I know a lot of people are in love with the WrestleMania 33 set. The size and the magnitude of that set, the long ramp, the roller coaster. I get it. But I'm a sucker for pirates, man. I'm a sucker for pirates. I just love the pirate theme. I love the pirate ship. I love the cannons firing out of the pirate ship. I thought it was great. I thought it was one of the best WWE entrances and one of the best stages that they've ever produced. And a lot of people were wondering why they went back to Raymond James Stadium, why Florida is getting a second WrestleMania. They were voided of the opportunity for last year's WrestleMania because of the pandemic. WWE obviously worked out of the Performance Center last year in front of nobody. They went back to Raymond James Stadium and gave Tampa another opportunity to have this show. Seeing that set design and seeing that WWE put so much effort into building this WrestleMania around the pirate theme, now you know why they wanted to go back there, because it was awesome. It was awesome. They wanted a return on their investment, and I had no problem with them going into Tampa once again for WWE WrestleMania. As far as everything else goes, man, from top to bottom, it wasn't a bad night. I'm expecting night 2 to be a lot better. Night 1 had its obvious ups. I thought Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley was a thumbs up. It wasn't the greatest WWE Championship match that I've ever seen, but the outcome was the right outcome. I thought WWE did a fantastic job with the Bad Bunny inclusion. I thought this was probably the most entertaining match. Not the best wrestled match of the night, but the most entertaining match of the entire evening. And I gotta give WWE props for sticking with their guns, giving Bad Bunny a spot when everybody in the IWC that does what I do shit on Bad Bunny and kind of wrote him off. And he goes in there and he just shuts everybody up. And I don't think anybody really expected him to do what he did tonight. I don't. And he pretty much pulled a bunny out of the magic hat and gave us the most entertaining match of the entire evening. So kudos to him and kudos to Damien Priest as well, who got his big moment. Very happy for him because I'm a big fan of Damien Priest. And kudos to Miz and Morrison for being the consummate professionals, bringing Bad Bunny to such a great match at WrestleMania. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. Cesaro versus Seth Rollins was a great wrestling match. I could have watched another 15 minutes of those two go at it, but we were given about 12, 13 minutes. And what we got was the right outcome there. And then obviously Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This was the main event of night 1. Rightfully so, because Bianca Belair won the Royal Rumble this year. You have a 2-night WrestleMania. There's no reason why you can't give that girl the main event of WrestleMania when the winner of the Royal Rumble gets the opportunity to do that at WrestleMania. If this was a 1-night WrestleMania, this is not the main event of WrestleMania. The fact that you got 2 nights of WrestleMania, there's no way that you're not going to give them, Sasha and Bianca, the main event of this show. What they produced was a fantastic match, probably one of Sasha Banks' best matches to date. Easily one of Sasha's best matches in the last couple of years. I think this was the best match that she's had since the Bayley Hell in a Cell match, and that's not saying much because WWE hasn't done much with Sasha Banks and this SmackDown Women's Championship. They gave it to Bianca Belair, and I have a feeling that this is going to be a very short-lived title reign for Bianca Belair. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on in the show, but all in all, I will say this was a thumbs-up WrestleMania night 1. It wasn't the perfect show, but I will give WWE the thumbs up here because they had everything going for them going into this, minus the weather. They had the fans back. They had an energetic crowd. They had the energy. The roster was pumped up. I'm sure everybody was very excited. I'm sure everybody is just getting a glimpse and a taste of what is going back to normal, hopefully soon. So I got to give WWE credit. This was a thumbs-up show, but not anywhere near what WrestleMania should be at the end of the night. I just did not feel that WrestleMania vibe when it was all over. I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight, man. We already have 3,200 live in the chat. I appreciate you guys very much for making this your destination tonight in the very early hours of the morning. We got rain delayed, which stopped all of WWE's plans for about 30 minutes or so. And we should really be on the air about 30 minutes before the time we went on. But we had a nice lightning delay and a nice rain delay that kept WWE from starting the show promptly at 8 o'clock. But I want to thank everybody for joining me, man. I know it's going to be a busy weekend. Follow me on social media, and thank you to all the new followers on social media as well. At JDfromNY 206 on Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. I would really appreciate if you guys enjoy and see what you see here. And hit that subscribe button because we're doing big things. We're doing big things. We are taking the podcast game on YouTube in the IWC, and we're taking it to the next level over the next couple of weeks, man. And I am very grateful that you guys are here on this journey with me. Again, hit that thumbs up. We are already at 835 likes. Let's try. Seriously, let's try for at least 1,500 before we get on out of here tonight for the WrestleMania 37 post show. Super chats are open. We already have over $400 in super chats, man. I will get to all of you guys at the end of the show. The chat is open. Make sure you guys get them on in, and we'll hang out like we usually do at the end of the show. Make sure you guys go check out the Patreon page, patreon.com/JDfromNY206. Make sure you guys go get your t-shirts. Bonfire.com is the exclusive home of Off the Script. Everything you need is linked down in the description below. Go get your masks. We have Off the Script masks in stock, white and black. That is mouthmasker.com/OTS. And tonight's show is brought to you by Dr. Squatch, drsquatch.com. And you guys are going to use code SCRIPT at checkout for 20% off your purchase, man. I use it. There should be no reason why you guys are not using Dr. Squatch as well. Absolutely the best in men's hygiene. drsquatch.com. You're going to use code SCRIPT at checkout. And also, I made everything very accessible for you guys. We got playlists linked down below. We covered everything, man. Monday Night Raw, AEW Dynamite, both nights of NXT, and we did a tremendous SmackDown go-home show last night with the live stream. If you guys missed any of that stuff, links are down in the description below. Go and check all of that stuff out if you want more content from Off the Script. It's been a long weekend, man. It's been a long weekend. I feel like I'm going to have no voice at the end of this weekend, and we got so much more coming up, man. After tonight, we got tomorrow night. We got Monday Night Raw, and the Raw after WrestleMania usually is the biggest Raw of the year, or at least it has been. And then we got NXT debuting on Tuesday night. I will be live every single night for the next 3 nights as we continue this busy WrestleMania week. Let's start at the top, man. WrestleMania started with Vince McMahon addressing the WWE Universe, addressing how important the fans are to the WWE and how they missed us. It was truly a great visual, seeing everybody on the stage, seeing Vince McMahon as the first figure back with live fans, addressing everybody and the WWE Universe. I wish Vince McMahon was a little bit more genuine. I really do. Every time Vince speaks, it feels very hollow. It feels very empty. It feels very soulless. I know Vince McMahon doesn't really give a shit about us at all, because if he did, the shows would be better. If they did, the shows would be written better weekly. If they did, people that have been benched indefinitely would be on television. If they did, some of the people that are on TV right now would be taking a back seat. I wish Vince McMahon was a little bit more genuine, and we know everything that he usually says is all bullshit. So it's very difficult for me to believe anything that Vince McMahon says. Yes, the crowd was missed. Yes, the crowd is very important. But if it comes from the mouth of Vince McMahon, I have a very difficult time believing anything that man says. And I know I'm not the only one in that camp. We got America the Beautiful performed, and then the actual show got delayed immediately by a lightning storm, and we got the commentary team in planches or fucking raincoats. They were covered in plastic, and then we had the rain coming down. Everybody was heading for the hills, and then we seen promo after promo after promo. This was WWE in panic mode. They didn't really anticipate this, it looked like. We got everybody from Bobby Lashley to Drew McIntyre to Kevin Owens. We got Seth Rollins, The New Day, you name it. Everybody was given a shot to cut a promo, even people that weren't even on this show tonight. They threw anybody and everybody in front of a camera just to bide the time because the rain was coming down and they needed to fill WrestleMania with something until the delay was over. So WrestleMania got started and it was a little rocky at first, and then we finally began the show at 8:41 p.m. Eastern Time with Drew McIntyre, and the crowd began his countdown. 3, 2, 1, and then he thrusted the sword into the stage, and the cannons of the ship on the stage fired off simultaneously. Awesome visual and an awesome sight. He got into the ring and fireworks shot off all around the stadium. Drew McIntyre looked like he wanted to cry. Being back in front of fans, the reaction was very 50-50 split right down the middle for Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. Bobby got some cheers, heavy cheers. Drew McIntyre definitely got some heavy boos by a small percentage of the audience at Raymond James Stadium. So this was a 50-50 split for these two guys. They fought back and forth at first until McIntyre hit consecutive overhead suplexes, and then he finished off with a neck breaker. Lashley tried fighting back, but McIntyre hit a Northern Lights suplex, very sloppy, for a 2 count. Lashley then came back with a clothesline and then a Dominator for a near fall. McIntyre hit a headbutt, but Lashley came right back with a spine buster for a 2. McIntyre hit a reverse Alabama slam for a 2 count. McIntyre seemed to attempt a Claymore kick here, but Lashley connected with a spine buster. Crowd was chanting for McIntyre, who told Lashley to bring it, bitch. McIntyre hit an overhead suplex and 3 consecutive Future Shock DDTs. The first one was very sloppy. The first Future Shock DDT was very sloppy, and I think this was actually a slight audible on Drew McIntyre's behalf. He figured the first one was sloppy, then he went and hit a second one, then he went and hit a third one. I don't know if that spot called for 3 Future Shock DDTs, but the first one was very sloppy. It really got me thinking about Bobby Lashley. He really doesn't know how to take a bump very well. And I don't know if you guys have picked up on that in recent years. I've always thought that about Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley does not take a bump well at all. He's almost as stiff as a board. Now, Bobby Lashley does do a couple of things right that I actually love. He knows how to throw his opponent around. He knows how to deliver a suplex. He knows how to MMA fight. And that's what he's been training in the majority of the later years in his career. I just don't think he takes a bump very well. It doesn't come off well at all. And that DDT spot, that first Future Shock DDT, if you guys watch back, made me really think, God, this guy sucks at taking a bump. Nothing is impactful when he hits the mat. So McIntyre hit those DDTs. Crowd was chanting, "This is awesome." It's nice to hear a "this is awesome" chant by not having Kevin Dunn push a button and you hear a piped in "this is awesome" fake chant. So McIntyre did the Claymore countdown. Crowd was loudly chanting along, but MVP pulled Lashley out of the ring. McIntyre then hit the ropes and he wiped them both out with a massive overhead dive, flip dive to the outside. McIntyre then blocked a hurt lock by Lashley, responded with a nice suplex and then a flatliner. McIntyre blocked the hurt lock and slammed Lashley into the turnbuckle before applying a Kimura lock. So he's taking a page out of Brock Lesnar's book. Lashley got the rope and the Kimura lock was broken. McIntyre hit a headbutt but came back distracted by MVP. That caused him to miss a Claymore kick. Lashley got the hurt lock on immediately. McIntyre tried a Bret Hart pinning combo by bouncing off the ropes, similar to what he did against Roddy Piper at WrestleMania 7. Pushing off the ropes, Lashley held on. McIntyre was still in the hurt lock, though, and he passed out, and the referee called for the bell. Bobby Lashley retains the WWE Championship in the opening match of WrestleMania 37. The match was very good. In fact, if I do recall, they had a match, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, last year at Backlash for the WWE Championship when Drew McIntyre was champion. Now, I honestly think that match, what we seen in the ring, was better. Clearly, the atmosphere tonight was a lot better for this match, being that we had live human beings in attendance. I think the in-ring work for that match was a lot better than what we seen tonight. Bobby Lashley retains the WWE Championship after everybody had predicted that Drew McIntyre was going to win the title back. That WWE built up Bobby Lashley over the last several months because they realized and they knew Brock Lesnar was not going to be able to make it to WrestleMania, and they wanted Drew in the main event for whatever reason, whether it be he was their strongest babyface or the fact that they owed him because they didn't really anticipate having WrestleMania in front of no fans, and they had creatively booked him to win the championship, and they kind of let him down. They felt guilty, so they put him back there again this year. Whatever the reason is, WWE booked Bobby Lashley the way that they did because they realized Brock Lesnar was not going to be there to redo it all over again like last year. Bobby Lashley was legitimately the only threat on Monday Night Raw that could really make Drew McIntyre look like a monster babyface and give him that big pop at WrestleMania if he won the title. That did not happen. I was very, very shocked by the outcome of this match. I almost had it definite that Drew McIntyre was going to win this match because of the fact that they built him the way that they did. They put him in this spot again for a very particular reason. They had him open the show. After he closed the show last year, he was the first wrestler on that roster that you saw come out of the curtain. So I figured just based on that, they were going to give him the championship and kind of redo it and just get right to the story. Right in front of fans, he's going to win the championship, and that's the first thing you're going to see to open WrestleMania, him holding up the WWE Championship. That did not happen. Bobby Lashley, shockingly, retained the championship, and I'm going to be very blunt and very honest with you guys. This was the right creative outcome. This was, without a shadow of a doubt, the right creative outcome. For one reason and one reason only. You could maybe put an asterisk next to a reason that I'm going to mention afterwards, but the one reason that this was the right creative outcome was because if Drew McIntyre won the WWE Championship back, who exactly is there for him to go and wrestle and put the title on the line on Monday Night Raw? There is nobody. He's defeated everybody. You're not going to go and redo AJ Styles. AJ Styles is doing his thing with Omos. More than likely, they were going to win the tag team championships tonight, which they did. Randy Orton has gotten his fair share of WWE championships and championship opportunities. And don't tell me Bray Wyatt. That would not work at all. That would be very counterproductive for WWE. If Drew McIntyre won the championship and Bray Wyatt was the first opponent coming out of WrestleMania for Drew McIntyre, you're pretty much asking for a creative fuck-up. Because if Drew won the title and Bray Wyatt was his first opponent, then you would automatically have to give the title to Bray Wyatt. And regardless of that fact, nobody's interested in that match anyway. I don't even think Drew McIntyre wants that match. So the outcome was absolutely right. Now, on the same hand, I could say, well, Bobby Lashley retained the title. Are there any baby faces for Bobby Lashley to wrestle on Monday Night Raw for the WWE Championship? And the answer is no. There's nobody. The one thing that WWE needs to do, and I haven't heard of a plan to do it, but I would absolutely either A, merge the rosters, or B, have some sort of shake-up and shake these rosters up, because God only knows that both SmackDown and Raw absolutely need it. Now, the other thing that I was possibly thinking about is what I've been preaching for the last couple of months. What if Edge loses in the main event tomorrow night? Does he go back to Monday Night Raw, which he was a part of before he chose Roman Reigns at WrestleMania? What if we end up getting Drew McIntyre versus Edge for the WWE Championship after WrestleMania because he has no opponents left on Monday Night Raw? The only thing I ask, if that is actually the case, is that WWE builds Edge up instead of just giving him a championship match after he just lost, potentially, the WrestleMania main event on Sunday night. You just can't go from one championship to the other branch champion and challenge him for the championship without actually doing something about it. You gotta get to the back of the line, accumulate some wins, and then go for the championship. You just can't move from one championship to the other. So WWE is going to have a very difficult situation here. They don't have any baby faces on Raw for Bobby Lashley. If Drew McIntyre won the championship, there was going to be no heels for Drew McIntyre. It seems like they're stuck in a lot of nothing on Monday Night Raw, which is why I think a shakeup is absolutely needed. But this was definitely the right outcome, and not just because of the reasons that I mentioned, but Bobby Lashley, why would you build him up all year the way that you did to simply make him a transitional champion, to give him the title, which was previously held by The Miz, to have him walk into WrestleMania and take it off of him, as if all 17 years that he's battled and struggled to get to this point meant nothing. So you had to give him at least a little bit, which I'm hoping maybe the light at the end of the tunnel here is Bobby Lashley against Brock Lesnar. Maybe that's what they're holding off for. I don't know. Brock may be the only one on Monday Night Raw, the only one in WWE right now that isn't really affiliated with the brand that could come in and take the WWE Championship off of Bobby Lashley, or at least challenge him for the WWE Championship and make it feel fresh. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. And I thought the match was very good. Kudos to Bobby Lashley and kudos to Drew McIntyre, because Drew McIntyre was really the one that made this match as good as it was. Was it a perfect championship match? Absolutely not. I'd probably give it a 3.25 out of 5. Was it the right open for the show? Absolutely. Job well done by both guys. Women's Tag Team Turmoil match. I honestly feel like the less I say about this match, the better. This match was one of the absolute worst matches I've ever watched in my entire life. This may be the funniest match, and I mean that in the absolute most garbage way possible. This might have been the funniest match I've watched in all my 39 years of watching pro wrestling. This was truly dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. And it should be fucking said, because I don't know who's going to say it. Most of the women in this match do not belong in a wrestling ring. Most of these women in this match don't belong at a WrestleMania. Most of these women in this match are an embarrassment to the fucking women's revolution. This match should not have been at WrestleMania. Like I said last night, the tag team match, the Fatal 4-Way that we saw on SmackDown for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, that match should have been on this show, and what we've seen tonight should have been on SmackDown. That's the truth of the matter. Absolutely an abomination of abominations was this match. Naomi and Lana came out first. Billie Kay and Carmella came out second. Cole called them a makeshift last-second tag team, which is exactly what they are. Corey Graves was drooling over his girlfriend as usual. The bell rang, and we got these two teams going at it. Naomi threw a bunch of kicks at Carmella to start. They showed Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax watching in the back. Billie Kay rolled up Naomi. Carmella pushed her back, and her legs were there as added leverage to get a 3 count. And that was pretty much it for Naomi and Lana. There was a major botch by Lana and Billie Kay in this match. Lana threw a kick, and it didn't even connect with Billie Kay. Billie Kay fell backwards and flopped around, pretending to be a pro wrestler. Billie Kay, I'm going to say this in front of everybody, man. I got 3,600 people in this chat. If you're a Billie Kay fan, you have the lowest standards humanly possible for a pro wrestling fan. Billie Kay is so fucking terrible. She is so god-awful. She makes Carmella look like the reincarnation of Bret Hart. That's how bad Billie Kay is. She's a cosplay pro wrestler pretending to be a pro wrestler, and she absolutely needs to quit the business. Get the fuck out of the ring. Get off my TV. She does nothing for the show. She brings every segment down that she's in, and she just absolutely is dreadful to look at. Just get her the fuck off my TV. What a fucking embarrassment. God. Who could fucking stand for this shit and sit there and support it? Really? So the Riot Squad were next after Naomi and Lana were eliminated. A couple of minutes in, Ruby Riott landed a top rope senton. to Billie Kay as Kay was on top of Liv Morgan. I guess Kay was covering Liv Morgan. That was good enough for the pin. Goodbye. Billie Kay and Carmella. Actually, you know what? I actually feel bad for Carmella because Carmella has been working her ass off. Carmella actually looks very good in the ring, and I've said so multiple times. The fact that they put Billie Kay with Carmella is an embarrassment to Carmella. Riot Squad came out. They beat the makeshift tag team of Carmella and Billie Kay, giving me hope that they actually might win this fucking match. So out next was Dana Brooke. Oh, man. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, man. I got to clear my throat, man. Out next came Catering 1.0 and 1.5. That's their tag team. That's their tag team name. Dana Brooke is known as Catering, and Mandy Rose is Catering 1.5. Oh, God. You know, when you look back at WrestleMania moments and you look back at the greatest moments of WrestleMania history, could be Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart in the Iron Man match. It could be Bret Hart, WrestleMania 10, winning the WWF Championship in Madison Square Garden. It could be Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon in the ladder match at that very same show. Could be Stone Cold Steve Austin beating Shawn Michaels for the WWF Championship at WrestleMania 14. It could be Undertaker, Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25. Daniel Bryan winning the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 30. So many WrestleMania moments, man, that I just mentioned that will live in the timeline of our life. Really. But if you're asking me what my new, all-time, number one, most favorite, epic WrestleMania moment is, it is the botch by Mandy Rose on the ramp, falling down and tripping over herself on her way to the ring. And then on top of that, I missed it because I was absolutely laughing my ass off. I had my head down in my iPad. I was receiving texts about it. Apparently, Dana Brooke had a botch of her own. In fact, it wasn't even anything she did in the ring. It was, in fact, a wardrobe malfunction, and part of her tit popped out of her newly designed ring attire, which looks awful, by the way, which looks absolutely awful. I don't know why WWE even paired these two, but they look like glorified pink Barbie dolls in the getup that they were wearing tonight. So if you enjoy seeing somebody's tit on live TV, Dana Brooke gave you a WrestleMania moment that will live in infamy for the rest of your existence. That was their WrestleMania moment, folks. Never mind winning the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Dana Brooke flashed everybody with a nipple on WrestleMania. There you go. So after this absolutely embarrassing display of garbage, we got them in the ring. And I doubt anybody really cared at that point. But Ruby and Mandy Rose were fighting at ringside. Dana overshot a top rope flip senton on Liv. Of course she did. Another make-believe cosplay pro wrestler here. Then went for a cover. Liv reversed her into a small package for a 3 count. And after the Riot Squad absolutely got the pinfall in front of everybody on live television tonight, Greg Hamilton mistakenly announced that the Riot Squad were eliminated by Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. And then he had to correct himself seconds later and tell everybody that, in fact, the Riot Squad were advancing on in this fucking women's turmoil match. So, folks, let me get you sped up on everything that happened here. We got Billie Kay embarrassing herself beyond recognition in the opening contest of this match. Mandy Rose tripped and fell. Dana Brooke had a tit malfunction. And Greg Hamilton mistakenly announced Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose pinning Ruby Riott. Meanwhile, it was the other way around. So this is absolutely the reason why I said, because I am a fucking fortune teller, I have a crystal ball in my closet, which you guys don't know about, and I seen this happen before it actually happened tonight. There's no reason why the men's tag team fatal 4-way on SmackDown could not be on this show and this match be completely omitted from everybody's fucking existence. This is WrestleMania to people, and people are going to overlook this. People are going to overlook this. If I am in charge of a business and I'm looking at this and I'm seeing this, I'm never booking any of these women on any shows ever again. They embarrassed me as head of whatever department I am head of in creative. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. So Mandy Rose should really go to the back and seek out Titus for help and ask him what he did, because after he slipped in Saudi Arabia and slid underneath the ring, tripping over himself, how long did everybody keep that in the back of their mind? It had to be about a couple of years that people stopped talking. This is now Mandy Rose in fucking GIF form for internet eternity. That's all it is. There's a WrestleMania moment. Her one and only WrestleMania moment. That's it. So we got Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke being eliminated. Tamina and Natalya came out. They were the final team here. Thank Christ. Mercifully, this was about to be over. And Ruby Riott tried to rally a few minutes in against Tamina and then landed a senton off the top rope on the back of Tamina. Liv Morgan made the cover. Tamina kicked out. Liv was upset that she couldn't get the pinfall here. Natalya had hit a heart attack on Ruby Riott. Double team move with Tamina. And she was about to set up for the sharpshooter, but instead tagged in Tamina. Tamina then landed a top rope superfly splash, which looked absolutely terrible. And that was it. That was it. She won with the superfly splash. Riot Squad was eliminated. Natalya and Tamina advanced to face Baszler and Nia Jax tomorrow night on night 2 of WrestleMania. What a WrestleMania, folks. We get Tamina Snuka on both nights. Man, aren't we fucking lucky, bro? Holy shit, was this one of the worst WrestleMania matches I have ever personally watched in 37 WrestleManias. Seth Rollins versus Cesaro. This was one of the matches that I was looking forward to all weekend. This one, Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, and Edge, and then Sasha versus Bianca Belair were my top, most anticipated matches of the entire weekend. This one did not disappoint. This one did not disappoint whatsoever. WWE did one thing right. Actually, two things right here. I got to give them credit. I don't know who is spearheading it in creative. I doubt it's Bruce, or I doubt it's Vince. Vince may be okaying it, but he can okay something and then grow bored with it, and then he doesn't want it on TV anymore. For example, he was booking the Hurt Business as strong as he was, and then he woke up one day and said, you know what? I want to continue booking Bobby Lashley, but fuck Cedric Alexander and get rid of Shelton Benjamin. Get them off my TV. That's exactly what he did. Same thing could be coming to Cesaro. We don't know yet. Right now, Cesaro is living pretty. That could end in the snap of a finger with Vince McMahon. I got to give WWE credit. Whoever is spearheading this push for Cesaro, man, is this a long time coming. Is this a long time coming? The promo package that Seth Rollins and Cesaro had on SmackDown, I absolutely want to see back again if they run this match back, which I think that they will. I think that they will. And Cesaro needs to win again. Cesaro needs to win again. It was almost like a political ad campaign, why Seth Rollins was the right man for the job and Cesaro is not really the guy that we all want on TV. He's a disappointment and a failure. Meanwhile, Rollins is, the guy that has WrestleMania moments and achieves greater things at WrestleMania than anybody underneath him. I love that political ad video package that they did on SmackDown. Great stuff. I want to see it again. WWE really nailed the fact home that this was Cesaro's first WrestleMania singles match in 10 years. And just by that alone, it was almost as if Cesaro was destined to win. He had to win. And looking at what happened here, Rollins, he was back for a little bit. He showed up in the Royal Rumble. He was back on SmackDown. And they gave him Shinsuke Nakamura at Fastlane. He got his first singles match back. First singles victory over Nakamura. Sucks for Nakamura, but they weren't going to do Cesaro and Seth Rollins at Fastlane. They gave him a nice little appetizer in Shinsuke Nakamura, got him his win, so that he may be able to challenge Cesaro and give Cesaro a victory at WrestleMania, which was the right way to go about it. It was the right outcome. This match was great. I could have watched these guys for another 15 minutes. This was fucking awesome. And I'm so happy that Cesaro is finally getting the shine that he rightfully deserves. The guy is too good to just be sitting around in a random tag team, sitting around, not doing much of anything, sitting around on up, down, down, playing with Adam Cole and Xavier Woods and Tyler Breeze and everybody else on that show. He is way too good to be minimalized the way that WWE has minimalized him in the last 10 years. I want to let everybody know right now that this was one of the best performances of the entire night by Cesaro. I'm not going to really shit on Rollins because he was absolutely fantastic tonight as well. If WWE was watching this show the same way that we were watching this show and watched what Cesaro did in this match and listened to the crowd that erupted when Cesaro won, hanging on everything that he did, there's absolutely no way you are in WWE management or WWE creative and you're watching that and you're not pushing Cesaro the next time you get to SmackDown, even to a higher level. Cesaro tonight made sure that WWE has to push him. Cesaro should realistically now, with this victory over Seth Rollins is a big enough name to catapult Cesaro to a WWE Universal Championship match with Roman Reigns. He is that good. Cesaro and Roman Reigns needs to happen, and there's no reason why WWE should not be able to book Roman Reigns and Cesaro and get an easy 3-month program out of it. I know I've said it time and time again that Roman Reigns should not lose. But if Cesaro was able to beat Roman Reigns in the middle of that feud just as a 1-month thing, I would be okay with it because he's that good. He's that good. Because I know Roman would come right back, get the rematch, and get the title back. And I know Roman is going to make him look so good that I don't think people would even blink an eye. And Roman is so good that I don't think people would have a fucking problem with it. Because normally when somebody has their momentum stifled like that, like Drew McIntyre, they usually kind of have to hit the reset button. I don't think that would happen with Roman Reigns. I don't. And I genuinely think that's where WWE needs to start thinking. Roman's going to need opponents. Roman is going to need opponents, not Seth Rollins. Cesaro could be that guy. Great fucking match tonight. Great match. Cesaro immediately hit an uppercut. Went for a Cesaro swing immediately. Rollins got the ropes. Rollins followed soon after with a superplex into a Falcon Arrow for a 2 count. This was less than 3 minutes into the match. They were already going into damn near end of the match sequences. Cesaro came back with a variety of uppercuts and a clothesline for 2. Rollins then dodged a few swing attempts until Cesaro finally swung him about 8 or 9 times. But the arm was actually kind of injured in the match. A little mini story about Cesaro's arm. And he only did 8 or 9 revolutions on the swing. He actually put him down to apply the sharpshooter and shook off his arm a little bit, selling the arm. Nice attention to detail there. The crowd obviously wanted another swing, and the sharpshooter, Rollins got to the ropes, so that hold was not applied. Rollins dodged an uppercut, hit a flying knee, and then a sling blade. Rollins followed with a very nice, beautiful, actually, corkscrew splash off the top rope. I've never seen him pull that out in a WWE ring before. That was really awesome there. Cesaro, out of nowhere, hits a neutralizer for a near fall. Rollins followed up with a pedigree for a near fall. I did not like that. I didn't mind that Rollins kicked out of the neutralizer. But I did not like how Seth Rollins used Triple H's finishing move, used it as a setup move, or looked, I guess in this instance, he used it to finish off Cesaro, and it almost came off as a setup move because Cesaro kicked out of Triple H's finishing move. I don't like that. I don't really like that at all. You should not be stealing other people's finishes like that and then having a kick out from somebody else's finisher. That's just very poor producing on whoever produced this match. Got to do better than that. So, at the end, we had Rollins hit the pedigree. Cesaro kicked out. Rollins hit a few strikes on Cesaro, went for the curb stomp, but in a similar situation like Randy Orton at, I believe it was WrestleMania 33, if I'm not mistaken, we got Randy Orton in the curb stomp. He was about to be curb stomped. He popped Rollins up, hit the RKO. So that was that. Same thing here. He was about to do the curb stomp to Cesaro. Cesaro popped him up, hit a European uppercut in mid-curb stomp, which looked great. And then after this, Cesaro did an airplane spin and turned it into a UFO spin. And a UFO spin, if you guys didn't watch the show tonight and you're going to go back and watch it later, this was easily one of the highlights of the entire show. Rollins was in an airplane spin by Cesaro, and Cesaro did an airplane spin with no arms. Revolutions, back and forth, around and round and round and round. And he wasn't holding on to Rollins at all mid-airplane spin. I personally have never seen an airplane spin done in that manner in all the years I've been watching wrestling. That looked fucking unbelievable. Got the crowd to pop and get up off their feet. He did the big swing. 23 revolutions is what Michael Cole said. And Cesaro followed up with the neutralizer, and that was it. That was it. Cesaro got a lot of time after the neutralizer and the pinfall victory. He celebrated like this was a big championship win. The crowd was very happy. Very good match. And I'm telling you right now, if WWE does not book Cesaro coming out of this match better than what they did with him going into this match, everybody on that creative team should be fucking fired. This guy gave you a WrestleMania match, worthy of a WrestleMania match. You book him and continue this man's consistency and momentum. It needs to be done on Friday night. New Day. New Day versus AJ Styles and Omos. This was the Raw Tag Team Championship match of the evening. I don't want to say that the match was bad, but it certainly wasn't good. I, along with a lot of other people, do not give a shit about the Tag Team Championships on either Raw or SmackDown. I think the tag team division is in dire need of some assistance, dire need of some help. And I've been claiming for months, for years actually, since 2016. If you want to go back and watch my draft show in 2016, I said it then, and I said it every year that followed, and I'm still saying it. You got to merge the tag team divisions. There's no reason why WWE has some great tag teams on the main roster and they're operating on separate shows. The Monday Night Raw tag team division doesn't have any teams except these two teams. Miz and Morrison, I don't even want to think about them being a tag team because putting them in the tag team division does nothing. It does nothing. The Lucha House Party, I don't want to see them in the tag team division either, and WWE hasn't really done much with the Lucha House Party. Nobody's going to take them serious whatsoever. WWE had Retribution on Monday Night Raw. They did nothing with Retribution. They seemingly broke up, and no follow-up story about their whereabouts has been on Monday Night Raw since then. So like I said, the only two teams on Monday Night Raw are these two teams. That's it. SmackDown, at least SmackDown is trying. You got the Dirty Dogs, which at this point I'm willing to accept that they're a real tag team on SmackDown. Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode operate very well together. Chad Gable and Otis is not a tag team. I'm at the point where I'm going to accept Rey and Dominic Mysterio to be a tag team because it's father and son, so you can't get any more tag team than that. And then you got the Street Profits. Street Profits are former SmackDown and Raw tag team champions, so when you want to really boil it down to it on SmackDown, you got three teams on SmackDown, and that's it. 3 teams on SmackDown does not make a division. 2 teams on Monday Night Raw does not make a division. So what exactly are we doing with the tag team championships? And the reason why I keep reiterating this is because I want to get it in everybody's mind. I want to get it ingrained in everybody's mind. No matter who wins this match tonight, which I'll go over in a second, no matter who wins this match, what do you do next is what I want to know. Seemingly, there's nothing left. There's nothing left for AJ and Omos if they win this match. There's nothing left for the New Day if they win this match. You broke up the Hurt Business. That's another tag team. WWE could have a very good, competitive almost, tag team division. Then you got the Viking Raiders maybe coming back this year. They could have a very good tag team division, and they just don't care. That could not be me. Something needs to be done. The New Day versus AJ Styles and Omos. AJ came out. Looks like a fucking megastar every time I see him on this type of stage. Omos came out almost wearing a button-down dress shirt, it looked like, or a button-down vest. He had black jeans on with his name in white, stitched on the right ass cheek, on the right pocket. And I gotta admit, man, I was very curious to see what Omos would do in the ring. I was very close to saying this is gonna be a fucking nightmare. Because I don't know how good he's going to be. All I know is the reports that we read about Omos and him going to the Performance Center because he needed extensive training. Now, I don't know what extensive training really means, but he needed extensive training. The New Day, we know how good they could be. We know how good the New Day could be. I don't necessarily think they needed another tag team title reign. WWE seemingly is giving the New Day tag team title reign after tag team title reign just to kind of boast about their stats and really make them the greatest tag team of all time, which I know you and I all know, both know that the more reigns you have, that doesn't necessarily mean you're the greatest tag team of all time. New Day have 11 reigns, but that means they lost the tag team titles 10 previous times before that. The longer the reign, the better the champion you are. The more title reigns you have, in fact, I honestly think it not only diminishes the tag team, but it diminishes the championship. So Styles started the match, and Kofi and Xavier, they battled him for a couple of minutes. So he was the first one in, and almost was going to be the hot tag in this match. Kofi blocked Styles for making a tag a few minutes in. Xavier blocked him, knocked him back to the floor. Started kicking away at him. And Xavier scored a 2 count on AJ Styles. Xavier climbed the ropes and Styles sat up and smiled, leapt over and tagged in Omos for the first time. Now the guy's got obviously a giant stature to him. He had great presence in the ring. Xavier was selling his fear of Omos being in the ring. Kofi was selling his intimidation of Omos. So Xavier and Omos first squared off. Xavier drop kicked Omos. He no-sold it. He started laughing, swatting him away like a fucking pesky fly at a 4th of July barbecue. Kofi then tagged in. Omos blocked him and just flipped him over with ease with just a swing of the arm. So he almost tore, actually, Kofi's arm right out of its socket. Almost stood over him, and they used low camera angles to kind of make him seem a little bit bigger, the same way that they did on Monday Night Raw, where Omos picked up Kofi, and they did that low camera spot, and they had Omos throw Kofi over the barricade inside the Thunderdome. It made it seem a lot more devastating, and it made Omos look a lot bigger than he really is. They did the same thing here. So he tossed the New Day into opposite corners and then back and forth. He started doing running elbows back and forth. He then gave Xavier a backbreaker in a stalling position, old school backbreaker, and bent Xavier Woods over his knee. Haven't seen that done in years. It's a very old school move. He then applied a claw to Xavier as he was bending him backwards over his knee. Picked up Kofi with one arm, gave him a one-arm slam. Styles snuck in. He hit a phenomenal forearm on Kofi off the shoulders of Omos without legally tagging in. Omos lifted Kofi, started talking trash to him. He then gave a high double arm slam. Omos then put one foot on Kofi's chest and pinned him. And AJ and Omos won the WWE Raw Tag Team Championships. That was it. That was it. This was literally less than 10 minutes, and you got new Raw Tag Team Champions. Now, Michael Cole called this one of the most incredible first-time performances in WWE history. You got emo fuckface with the bad haircut that works for Fox Sports, that loves to stalk porn stars in Whole Foods. He was actually on Fox Sports' Twitter account and said this was the most impressive debut that he's ever seen. I don't know if people were watching the same show that I was, but I didn't see any of that at all from Omos. All I seen was a dead tag team division with a team that's not really a team burying the 11-time tag team champions at WrestleMania. And remember when I just said I'd merge the divisions because, you know, you have no divisions on Raw and no divisions on SmackDown. My question remains, folks, where do you go from here? What is next? Who do AJ Styles and Omos have as competition on Monday Night Raw? The answer is nobody. It's either going to be another match with the New Day, or it's going to be another makeshift tag team that WWE is going to come up with and put in the tag team division to go and battle Omos and AJ Styles. The match was not that good. Omos, he didn't fuck up, but it wasn't one of the greatest performances that I've ever seen at WrestleMania. It wasn't one of the best debuts I've ever seen. It was another big guy that barely is mobile, that knows what the fuck he's doing. And we got enough of them on WWE TV. We don't need another one of them. Give me a break. This match is, at the end of the day, going to be nothing. Because like I said, where do you go from here? If you don't have an end goal, why are you changing plans left and right and you don't even know what the fuck you're doing with the championships or the division? WWE just does for the sake of doing. So they put the New Day, they buried the Hurt Business to put the titles on the New Day, for the New Day to drop the titles to AJ and Omos, who aren't even a real tag team, in less than a month. That's planning? I don't know what you guys call that, but what I call that is fucking failure. Shit creative. That's what I call it. Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon. Dum. Still winning. Wee! The Strowman Express is coming on true. Tampa Bay. Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon. Steel cage match. The reason why this match came about is because Shane McMahon wanted to prove to everybody that Braun Strowman is dumb. Just like Bruce sucks at writing. Shane wanted to prove Braun Strowman was an idiot. Braun Strowman fell for all of Shane McMahon's tricks of the trade. And he opted to want a steel cage match against Shane McMahon because inside a steel cage match, the steel cage match would leave all of Shane McMahon's goons on the outside. Now, I said before the WrestleMania match actually happened, Braun Strowman might have missed the last couple steel cage matches in WWE, or if he wants to go back in the annals of WWE history, how many steel cage matches actually keep the opponents on the outside out of the ring? Not many. Not many. Not in a day and age where you have Hell in a Cell matches where you padlock the fucking door shut and then you got Braun Strowman himself and Brock Lesnar ripping fucking cages in half. So please, Strowman, please explain to me how a steel cage match was going to keep the outside participants out of the ring. WWE made him sound like a blithering idiot on Monday Night Raw when they announced this match. I don't necessarily agree with Shane McMahon being on WrestleMania show. I think Shane McMahon ultimately just takes a spot away from somebody else that is much more deserving of the honor. But this is WWE. They don't give a fuck about anybody in that locker room. As long as a McMahon is affiliated with being on the card at WrestleMania, all is good in their realm. They think nobody is a bigger star than the McMahons. He doesn't need to be there. He doesn't need to be jumping off cages. He doesn't need to be diving through tables, doing elbow spots through tables. He doesn't need to be doing that. He's 51 years old. Give it a rest already. Braun Strowman. This guy has long expired in WWE. He has long been expired in WWE. This guy hasn't been cool since he threw Roman Reigns off of a loading dock while Roman Reigns was a babyface strapped to a gurney and him flipping ambulances over. This is the last time Braun Strowman was cool. And even then, I was saying, all right, they're kind of running the well dry with Braun Strowman here, and this guy is more and more becoming a one-trick pony. There really isn't anything he could do. He had his moment in the sun where you felt Braun Strowman was going to be a big deal, maybe win a championship here, maybe win a championship there, and WWE never pulled the trigger on Braun Strowman for whatever reason. Whether it was his own doing, whether it was just the wrong place at the wrong time, and every one of those mishaps killed Braun Strowman's momentum, and he never regained any of it. Now all I look at when I see Braun Strowman is yet another Big Show, who's just a little bit more athletic and obviously in better shape. Braun Strowman does not belong on a WrestleMania card because he's nothing more than mid-card trash. I wouldn't even be booking Braun Strowman on the fucking pre-show at this point. He serves no value to the WWE. He brings no value to Monday Night Raw. Why the fuck is he even there? You're not going to get any good matches out of him. And WWE is so fucking empty on ideas for Braun Strowman that the one storyline that they came up with to include him at WrestleMania is to pretend he is stupid. While going on an anti-bully campaign. I'm doing this for everybody that's been bullied by somebody like Shane McMahon. Oh, really? Yet this is the same guy that bullied me during the Alexa Bliss situation last year, calling me a basement-dwelling virgin who loves Hot Pockets. I'm sorry, Braun. I don't eat trash. And you suck at what you do. Now, the match. The match itself, it wasn't overly terrible, but when I tell you nobody gives a shit, nobody gives a shit. Nobody. Shane McMahon got his token WrestleMania match. Braun Strowman got a win by being included on the card. And everybody will forget about this come Monday morning. So Elias and Jackson Ryker were outside with Shane McMahon. Of course they were. They attacked Strowman with chairs before he could enter the ring. Shane was pulling the cage door shut so Strowman couldn't enter. So right then and there, WWE's pretty much telling you, Braun Strowman asked for this match, and look at how Shane McMahon is exploiting how stupid Braun Strowman is. Unreal. The ref started the match, and Shane hit convincing, or actually unconvincing, kicks to Strowman, shadow punches to Strowman, which looked fucking awful. All of Shane McMahon's offense to Strowman looked terrible. The only time it actually looked legit was when Shane McMahon was using weapons. And that's about it. So the ref started the match. Shane was really hitting some sloppy offense on Strowman. Shane grabbed a metal piece off of the top of the cage and hit Strowman with it in the back. Shane tried escaping, but Strowman yanked it away from him and drove him into the cage. Strowman went for a running power slam, but the leg gave out because of Shane McMahon targeting the legs just a couple of moments before. Shane followed with a coast-to-coast drop kick for a 2 count, which didn't really look like a coast-to-coast. Looks like Shane McMahon got coast to almost coast on this one. Elias and Ryker then tried climbing the cage on the outside, but Strowman ran into the cage to knock them off. And Shane climbed while this was happening to the tippity top of the cage. And up on top of the cage, there were 2 bags hanging from the cable or the cable wires that were holding this cage up. There were bags of goodies on opposite sides of the ring. And in the bag that Shane McMahon was climbing up towards, he pulled out a toolbox from one of these bags on top of the cage. I didn't realize cages had bags with weapons hanging above. Nobody filled me in on this fucking ruling. He smashed Strowman in the face with this toolbox. Shane climbed out of the cage, but he was taunting. So who's really stupid here? I guess this is the fucking moral of the story. You want to call somebody stupid and then you want to act fucking stupid and ruin the match for yourself. So who really does look stupid here? Shane McMahon hit Braun Strowman with the toolbox. He goes up to climb. He's over the top and he's climbing down. He starts taunting Braun Strowman. He starts putting his hand into one of the holes of the steel cage. And he's mocking Strowman. Strowman grabbed him by the hand that he shoved through one of the holes, and he started to rip the cage off of its hinges, and he pulled Shane McMahon back into the ring, not over the top, but by the cage he ripped off of its hinges. So I gotta admit, that looked like a cool spot. That was cool. But Shane McMahon proved to everybody that he is the real stupid one here, like Braun Strowman. So he started beating down at Shane McMahon. Shane was pulled into the cage. They both stood there for a couple of seconds. Strowman was asking him, who's stupid now? He chucked Shane moments later. They're both up top. He threw Shane from the top of the cage, which looked like it fucking sucked for Shane McMahon. He threw Shane from the top of the cage into the ring. Shane flipped midair, landed flat on his back. And you would think after a spot like that, all Braun Strowman has to do is climb out of the cage and win the goddamn match. No. They still make Braun Strowman look like a fucking idiot here. Stupid Strowman. He throws Shane off the top of the cage, and instead of climbing down after you just launch your opponent 20 feet in the fucking air down to the ring, instead of climbing down to the cage to the floor, he climbs back into the ring, delivers a power slam, pins Shane McMahon in the middle of the ring, and wins the match 1, 2, 3. Who produced this shit? I gotta ask, who produced this shit? You mean to tell me that you're going to do a spot like that and you're not going to end the match on that spot? Why? Oh, but JD, Braun Strowman wanted to punish Shane McMahon some more. I don't know how badly you want to fucking punish somebody. You just threw him from the top of the cage 20 feet down. Shit like that irks the living shit out of me, man. So he comes back into the cage, he power slams Shane McMahon, and that's it. That's it. Power slam wasn't needed, and the ending was stupid. You will forget this by the time you go to work on Monday morning. Not even Monday morning. By the time you wake up at 9 a.m. this morning, you'll forget about this match. Completely irrelevant is Braun Strowman. Moving on with the remainder of this show tonight. We got what was probably the most entertaining match of the entire evening. And this was a match that I was not looking forward to in the least bit. The build to this match has been nauseating. It's been one of the worst parts of Monday Night Raw, especially with their new music video, Miz and Morrison, debuting their new hit single, Hey Hey Hop Hop. This guy was WWE champion a mere month ago. And he's dancing around in bunny outfits on Monday Night Raw. The one thing I'm happy about here is Damien Priest. A, he's a Bronx guy. I'm from the Bronx. Got to support and represent my Bronx guys. Happy for him. He looks like a megastar, and he had one badass entrance tonight. He looked like he belonged, okay? Miz and Morrison are some of the worst acts on Monday Night Raw. I feel bad for John Morrison at this time because he deserves so much better. I wish that they would go back to the early 2010 era and just break these guys up, seriously, and give Morrison a singles push towards the US or IC title. He needs to get the fuck away from The Miz. The Miz, the best The Miz has looked is back in 2016. He actually was great when he was feuding with Dolph Ziggler over the Intercontinental Championship on SmackDown. That is when The Miz was at his peak. And don't even argue with me over that. That is when I enjoyed legitimately The Miz. All I heard about Bad Bunny was that he's a fan. He's taking it seriously. He's doing this, he's doing that, and how he's training at the Performance Center, and everybody sticking up for Bad Bunny being on WWE TV. Bad Bunny being included on WWE TV did absolutely nothing for the TV show. The ratings were still in the toilet. 1.7, 1.8, 1.7 on the road to WrestleMania. If you think that is generating interest on Monday Night Raw, you are sadly mistaken, my fellow geek. It ain't doing shit. What it's doing is bringing Bad Bunny fans to watch WWE social media content, bringing Bad Bunny fans to watch YouTube clips from WWE's YouTube channel, and that is it. Yeah, he's driving some business. Yeah, he's driving some revenue. Yeah, he's driving merchandise sales. But is he doing anything for the long-term effects of WWE programming? The answer is no. None of these people, when Bad Bunny goes away, none of these people are going to remain watching the show. They're all going to follow Bad Bunny onto the next project he does. They're not going to give a shit about what he does in WWE, or they're not going to give a shit about the WWE product in general. It was a one-shot deal, and that's it. A one-shot deal that will culminate at WrestleMania, and it's over. It's over. But all I heard was, this guy's taking it serious. This guy's a big lifelong fan. He loves the WWE. He respects this business. He's been in the Performance Center for months training for this match. Great. Great. I, along with everybody else in the community, everybody that does what I do, the podcast thing, gave this guy little to zero credit. They gave him no hope at WrestleMania. And normally I come on here and say things, and most of the time I'm right. But I'm glad. This is one of the very few times, a rarity, in which I'm wrong, and I will eat my words, just the same way that I ate my words as far as Pat McAfee goes. I didn't expect much from Pat McAfee, especially being in the ring with one of the best in-ring performers on the planet in Adam Cole. I didn't know what Pat McAfee was going to do. In fact, Pat McAfee actually spoiled us. Because now we expect everybody to be a celebrity and go in and do what Pat McAfee did. And we know that's not going to happen. But I'm glad it happened here. Bad Bunny looked great. Bad Bunny was in the Performance Center and he fucking trained his ass off and he looked great. And the thing is, the way that WWE produced this match, Bad Bunny was in there and took the majority of the heat from Miz and Morrison and gave Damien Priest the hot tag. He gave Damien Priest the hot tag. And that I respect more than anything else. Bad Bunny didn't look out of place. Bad Bunny hit his spots. It might have been a little sloppy as far as him throwing a punch, but even some of the biggest vets in the business can't throw a fucking punch correctly. Still. People in the business 15 years still can't throw a fucking punch correctly. So I'm not going to zing him on that. He looked great. He didn't look out of place. He took a beat down like a man. And when he was called upon to hit spots, big spots, he did. Tornado DDT off the second rope, a big splash off the second rope, or off the top rope rather, like he did at the Royal Rumble. He was great. He really nailed it at WrestleMania. And I'm very happy that he did. Because this could have been a disaster. And the best thing about it, one thing that people are going to overlook about this match is the fact that Bad Bunny was in this match for the majority of it, taking a beatdown, getting heat from the heels. Damien Priest got the hot tag from Bad Bunny which is normally reserved for guys like Bad Bunny to come in and do minimal work. Bad Bunny did the majority of the lifting in this match. It was almost as if WWE wanted to prove to everybody that he really was training, and this is the product of his work. But I look at it not only in that way, I look at it as far as Damian Priest getting the hot tag. That is a big moment for Damian Priest to come in when the crowd is ready for Bad Bunny to get out of the match, and you are the recipient of all of that pent-up just elation from the crowd. That's a big spot to be in if you're Damian Priest. That's a spot, I think, when I look at it, that WWE is very high on Damian Priest, and they are going to push him in the future because they don't really do that for just anybody. That hot tag, especially at a WrestleMania, is a big spot. It really is. And I thought that was awesome. This match was the most entertaining thing on the show. It was actually one of the longer matches of the entire night. Went about 15 minutes. Priest was going to start, but Bad Bunny tagged in, and the crowd was very happy about this. He started off with The Miz. Miz put his hands behind his back, taunted Priest, so Bunny punched him in the face. Bunny then executed some ground and pound offense on The Miz. Miz kneed him in the gut, took over for a little bit. Bad Bunny countered a takedown into a takedown of his own. Miz rolled to the outside to run away from the Bunny. Bad Bunny used a nice roll-up in the ring for a 2 count. Crowd was really into this, very lively. Miz took him down for a moment, but Bad Bunny did a spinning leg scissor, hurricanrana, or head scissor takedown. Beautiful stuff there. Executed it perfectly. Morrison tagged in, distracted the referee, which allowed the Miz to hit a cheap shot, and Miz and Morrison took over for a little bit. Bad Bunny was fighting back. He caught Miz for a roll-up here and there, trying to battle back. Miz took him down with a big boot. They were working over Bunny until Priest got the hot tag off of a Bad Bunny big boot and a big tornado DDT off the second rope. Priest came in, riled up, beat up the Miz, beat up Morrison. He suplexed Morrison into the Miz before chokeslamming Miz. Morrison broke up the cover. Priest and Bad Bunny each hit Miz and Morrison with broken arrows. Falcon arrows. Bad Bunny hit a perfect Falcon arrow. And they hit a double cover, and both guys kicked out at the same time. Priest then wiped out Miz and Morrison with dives. Bad Bunny followed with a dive of his own off the top rope to the outside. Priest tried for his finisher, which is called Hit the Lights, which is the first song off of Metallica's Kill 'Em All, which is a direct homage to Metallica and Priest being a metal fan. Good for him. Priest tried for his finisher, but Miz countered into a skull-crushing finale, but Bad Bunny broke up the cover. Bad Bunny gave Morrison a fucking Canadian destroyer on the outside, and man, was it beautiful. Bad Bunny with a Canadian destroyer on John Morrison on the outside. Priest in the ring lifted Miz on his shoulders, and Bad Bunny hit a flying crossbody for the 1, 2, 3. This was great. Way better than anybody ever expected. So good on him. I love when celebrities come in and treat this business with respect like McAfee has done and Bad Bunny has done. We've had some really piece of shit D-list celebrities like Snooki come on in and not really do anything. They don't really give a shit about the business. This was excellent. This might have been the most entertaining match on the entire night, and I give props to Bunny, and I'm very proud of Damian Priest. I expect Monday Night Raw to push him either for the U.S. title against Sheamus, get him some mid-card action there. I could absolutely see Damian Priest and Bobby Lashley at the end of the year if they want to push Damian Priest towards a world championship on Monday Night Raw. Excellent stuff here, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing what Damian Priest does on Monday night. The main event of the show, Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks, SmackDown Women's Championship. I ranted on my SmackDown post show. About this build, about the outcome I'd like to see. I don't want to go over everything that I said. You guys can easily go back and watch that if you want. But the build for this match was absolutely dreadful. The build for this match consisted of them teaming up and chasing the Women's Tag Team Championships, okay? The build for this match not only revolved around the Women's Tag Team Championships, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, mind you, it revolved around Reginald, who was with Carmella at the time, and they were teasing maybe Sasha Banks and Reginald having this little thing together. Maybe Reginald had a crush on Sasha Banks. Maybe Sasha was kind of playing it up as well. And Bianca Belair did not come off well at all in any of this. In fact, Bianca Belair looked absolutely terrible in all of it. She didn't look like the EST. She didn't feel like the EST. She didn't come off as an EST. And Sasha Banks was no better. We all know how good Sasha Banks is. We all know how great she is in the ring. WWE was booking this match around the Tag Team Championships, and they were really jeopardizing this feud going into WrestleMania to a point where if they did go into Mania at that point, they were not going to look good at all. If Bianca lost, she would not look good. If Sasha lost, she would not look good. Then after Fastlane, WWE decided to book this feud around the SmackDown Women's Championship, and even then, they didn't really do much of anything. Oh, I'm the EST. Oh, I'm the blueprint. Oh, I'm the EST. I'm the standard. I'm still struggling to find out where the story is here. What exactly was the story? You wasted 6 weeks of television, rather, around Reginald, and now for the last 2 weeks before WrestleMania, now you want to book around the Women's Championship on SmackDown? Every week that passed by, Bianca Belair, in my eyes, was not ready. I don't give a shit how old she is. 30 years old, 32 years old. I don't really give a shit how old she is. Bianca Belair is a rookie on the main roster. She might not be a rookie depending on how long we've watched her, but she's a rookie in the eyes of the main roster. The only reason why she's in the spot that she's in is because she won the Royal Rumble. Did she deserve to be there? Not the way this feud was booked. The only reason why she deserved to be there was because she won the Royal Rumble. That was it. Sasha Banks, on the other hand, this champion, she didn't do shit with the championship. The most she's done with the championship is beat Bayley at Hell in a Cell, finish the feud with Bayley, and then move on to Carmella, and then nothing. Then they waited. Then they waited for Bianca, and then they did nothing with the championship. So how exactly are you going to build excitement about the SmackDown Women's Championship? And the funny thing is, people were shitting on me because of my opinion on this feud. I don't really understand what you're watching and what I'm missing. Then the political agenda got thrown into the fucking picture. WWE main eventing WrestleMania with Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Some people agreed with it. Some people didn't agree with it. I was actually one of the very few people that said, give them the fucking main event. Bianca won the Royal Rumble. You got 2 nights of WrestleMania. There's no reason why you can't book Bianca Belair in the Royal Rumble. Any other year, that's not going to happen. This year, you have no excuses. The rules of the Royal Rumble are you win the Royal Rumble, you main event WrestleMania. So go and do it. Then as the feud went on and the feud went on and it just became really, really shitty as far as creative goes, then it started to become, oh, they deserve it because this is going to be the first main event that's headlined by 2 black women. Yes, that's a great thing. I'm absolutely on board with it. But I'm not going to justify that for shitty creative. And for everybody that wants to hold their hat, hang their hat, stamp their flag on that aspect that you're main eventing WrestleMania with 2 strong black women, I'm all for that. Believe me. Especially these 2, who I love. I'm not going to let that go when I know most of this storyline was built around Reginald, a male, who was operating and competing in the women's division, taking spots from females. So when you want to use that against me, please take a step back and realize that you're not dealing with some fucking idiot on YouTube who doesn't know his shit. I watch with eyes wide open. You're not going to really get one by me on that. WWE failed when it came to this feud. Failed. Bianca didn't look like a main event superstar. She didn't look like a champion. Sasha has never won a WrestleMania match, so why exactly are you planning to take the championship off of Sasha Banks when WrestleMania should be used as a foundation in this case when someone is not ready to give back to those that have held your company up, especially in the middle of a pandemic? Sasha Banks and Bayley did everything to make sure that these shows were as interesting as possible, and they had their name over everything. And you're going to put Sasha Banks in the main event with Bianca Belair and just take the championship away from her? Even after the outcome in this match, I don't think Bianca Belair was ready. And I do think that Bianca now, as the SmackDown Women's Champion, I do think that it's going to be a short-lived title reign. I do think that Becky's going to come back and she's going to be like, bitch, I'm back for what I never lost. And you know she's going to SmackDown. You know she's going to SmackDown because her fiance works on SmackDown. That's just the way I see it. Now, I will say this. I don't agree with the outcome here. I do not agree with Bianca Belair winning the championship, but I will be a betting man here. And I will say that Sasha Banks gave the okay for this creative outcome because, A, she believes in Bianca, and I guarantee you Sasha said something to creative along the lines of, I will drop the title to Bianca Belair as long as you have plans in place to make her the star of this division. Otherwise, everything that I've done and embodied in this division with this championship, if it doesn't get transferred to somebody else that's going to continue to be elevated and elevate that championship even further, then what the fuck was the point of taking the title off of Sasha Banks? And I will be saying that for weeks if I see any kinks in WWE's creative armor. I swear on my grandfather's grave. That's not what you do when you build future stars. Bianca wins the championship tonight. I get it. This is the stage to create future stars. But I got to ask you guys something, man. When have you ever put your full trust in WWE? Everybody's like, oh, future stars are made on the road, on the stage to WrestleMania. On the grandest stage here, this is when WWE's got to make new stars. Have they made new stars ever? According to my watch, Andrade asked for his release. Ricochet, one of the best wrestlers in the pro world, sitting in catering. Aleister Black, buried. Buddy Murphy, buried. Everybody else in catering, buried. How many other guys, countless guys on this roster not being utilized the way that they should? Shinsuke Nakamura, Cesaro, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. How many guys? How many guys ready to be called up from NXT that are going to get buried based on their size alone? So when you want to sit there and shill, this is the grandest stage to make future stars, please tell me when WWE has created future stars in the past. Especially with this fucking roster. Because I'm failing to see it. The problem with you fucking people is you give WWE way too much benefit of the doubt. I hope that they're wrong. I hope that I am wrong. And that WWE actually does something with it, because if they don't continue to build Bianca Belair up, then what was the fucking point of taking the title off of Sasha Banks when she clearly wasn't ready to give up the championship? That's my fucking problem. Now that I got that out of the way, the match was great. Was this a WrestleMania main event match? Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. I loved how this match was booked. I love how the braid of Bianca Belair ultimately became the story of this match. And it deserved that spot. It really did. The fact of the matter is, Sasha Banks I don't know where they go from here. I really don't. Bianca Belair, I do feel, will be a transitional champion when Becky Lynch is ready to come back. She will be back in a month now. You know she's going to be back. And you know she's going to be spotlighting that SmackDown title as a target. I know it. I don't know what Sasha Banks does. She's beaten everybody, including Bayley, on this show. So we'll see what happens there. This was the best Sasha Banks match since the Bayley Hell in a Cell match. This was the best Sasha Banks match, if we're going to go past that. This was the best Sasha Banks match that she's had since the Becky Hell in a Cell match. Sasha knows how to perform on the biggest stage of WWE. And by the way, her ring attire was absolutely some of the best I've ever seen. So shout out to Mikaze, because I know he was definitely a part of that. Obviously, he designed that. He did Rollins. I think he did Shane's jersey. Fantastic. And I love the green and black. I really do. I even like the blue and the green in the hair. Some people were complaining about that. I thought she looked absolutely amazing tonight. So, we were early in this match. Belair went for a glam slam. Beth Phoenix glam slam. But Banks knocked her out of the ring. Banks used Belair's braid to drive her into the ring post. The braid was a big, integral part of the story. Banks tried a suicide dive on Belair, but Belair rolled through and pressed her into the ring. So Sasha dove through the ropes. Bianca Belair caught her mid-dive, and she had her in a slam position, raised Sasha over her head in a gorilla press, and walked her up the steps in a gorilla press and threw her into the ring. Now, it's impressive. It's impressive. But Sasha Banks probably is 110 pounds. So, you know, I'm sitting there and I'm like, yeah, it looks great visually, but Sasha Banks soaking wet is probably 110 pounds. It looked great, though. And Banks went for some double knees. Actually, first, Belair tried for a moonsault. Banks caught her by the hair, hit a series of kicks. Then Banks went for the double knees, but Belair intercepted and slammed her. Banks tried grabbing Bianca's hair for a leverage pin, but Belair used it to yank Banks into the post. And Belair followed with a crazy vertical suplex that was majorly delayed. She was bouncing her off the ropes, 1 rope, 2 rope, and then, you know, Sasha was trying to knee herself out of it in the suplex position. Sasha was almost out of it, and then Belair powered her up. That was impressive, because that just goes to show you how strong Bianca Belair really is. Belair used some tackles and a drop kick, a standing shooting star press, and then she went for her version of the glam slam. Belair went for another 450, but Banks got the knees up. They traded counters back and forth until Belair hit a power bomb on Banks. Banks was getting frustrated, kicked away at Belair before hitting a tornado DDT, and it almost had this lucha libre vibe to it, the DDT by Sasha Banks. She bounced off 1 rope, went to another rope, tornado DDT. It's almost as if Kalisto taught her that in training, which looked great. It almost looked very Ray Phoenix-like. So that was a very nice spot by Sasha Banks. So she followed up with a frog splash for a 2 count. Banks was extra frustrated at this point. She grabbed Belair's arm, dragged her into the rope before tossing her into the steel steps. Banks put Belair into a crossface using Bianca's braid for leverage, but Belair got a rope break. They battled for position on the top rope. Belair avoided a double knee strike, hit a 450 splash for a near fall. She could not believe it. She sold the disbelief. There was then a tug of war with Bianca's hair late in the match. Belair takes her braid, and I don't know how they got this sound effect, man. Belair took her braid and whipped Sasha so hard that she was lacerated. It looked like, to me, from my vantage point, lacerated on the left or right side. I don't remember which it was. I believe it was the right side, the exposed side of her outfit, lacerated from the hair braid whip, and that was pretty much it. Belair was whipping Banks with the braid, and she went for the KOD, and out of nowhere, she got the 1, 2, 3. Bianca Belair is the new SmackDown Women's Champion, and this was absolutely worthy of a main event spot at WrestleMania. And Michael Cole I don't know if you guys picked up on this, Michael Cole completely messed up the ending, yelling that Banks kicked out. But Belair obviously got the pin. It clearly was Belair pinning Banks. Michael Cole screamed that Sasha Banks kicked out of the KOD, and it wasn't the case. Bianca Belair is the new SmackDown Women's Champion. If Sasha Banks gave up that championship, there is no doubt in my mind that that woman wants that title to be elevated. And she wouldn't have agreed. She wouldn't have sat there and went over this creatively if WWE was going to put it on Bianca and not elevate it. Because if you guys remember, one of the main reasons why she walked out of WWE was because of what WWE did with those women's tag team championships. They put them on Banks and Bayley at the Elimination Chamber several years ago. And then they go into WrestleMania and they drop them to the fucking Iconics. The Iconics beat Sasha Banks and Bayley for the tag team championships. The championships, obviously, from then have been absolute trash. They are worthless. And Sasha Banks, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. That's it. After all that they vouched for, after all that they wanted as far as women's tag team championships, they were the team to build those championships as prestigious. WWE took them off of them, put them on the Iconics, and wasted everything that Sasha Banks and Bayley wanted to do with those championships, and those championships have never been the same since then. That's the straw that broke the camel's back for Sasha Banks. I guarantee you that woman is not going to allow that to happen again. And something along those lines was said because she mentioned it in the documentary, in the Stone Cold podcast that she did with Steve Austin. I would not mind dropping the championships if it was something that made sense. It clearly did not. I doubt Sasha would make the same mistake twice. Guys, that is the WrestleMania 37 review. That is all I got. We are about to go over some super chats tonight. Unbelievable night, man. We had 3,600 plus, number one in the community tonight. From what I was told, I was getting texts from my friends. Number one in the community tonight by a very large margin. And I thank you guys very much for sticking with me and waiting for my opinion on this. I love every single one of you. Thank you for making this my dream job. Thank you for being here with me and valuing my opinion. And thank you for you guys to be on this journey with me. There's so much more coming, man, that I can't reveal yet. And we got some great things coming. If you think the podcast is great now, man, visually, you are going to be blown away when the entire podcast comes together, which I'm hoping will be in the next 2 weeks. Unreal, man. We got the intro, we got the outro. Wait till you see what's inside the venue. It's going to be fucking awesome. I can't wait. Follow me on Twitter, man, and Instagram, at JDfromNY206. Make sure you guys hit that like button, man. We are already at 1181. Get those likes up, man. Let's try for 1,500. We had 3,600 in the live stream tonight. Absolutely no reason why we can't get 1,500 right now, man. Come on. Super chats are open. Get them on in. If you missed any of the content on the channel, go and check them out. Links are in the description for all the playlists that you need. Go and check it out, man. I really, really appreciate you guys. And no, I'm not taking the Strowman Express on this journey. Fuck the Strowman Express. Super chats, guys. Let's start at the top. We got a lot to go over here, man. I appreciate you so much. Let's see. What do we got here? We got Daniel Easterday with a $5 super chat. Do you think The Fiend and Orton will use their first WrestleMania match as motivation to have a better match tomorrow night? Thank you for being you. No. In fact, I think whatever we get tomorrow is going to be worse than what we got at WrestleMania 33. Bray Wyatt actually should have remained champion after WrestleMania 33, and Bray Wyatt should have, in fact, lost the championship to AJ Styles. Another fucked up decision by WWE Creative. If you want to go back deeper, Luke Harper should have been in that match. Rest in peace, Brody. Luke Harper should have been included in that match, and he should have walked out the WWE champion at WrestleMania 33. Paul Jackson, 1988, with a $5 super chat. The only team I cared about in that women's tag team turmoil was the Riot Squad. And, of course, they didn't win. Nice going, Vince and Bruce. Man, I don't want to be reminded of that match. It was fucking dreadful. Yes, but the Riot Squad should have won. Cool Jags with a $14.99 super chat donation. Lashley versus McIntyre. Thumbs up. Winning. Cesaro versus Rollins match of the night. Actually, the match of the night is tied with me, man. And it's not Cesaro versus Rollins. I'm going to go with the Bad Bunny tag team match and Sasha versus Bianca minus the outcome. Sasha versus Bianca was a great match. Shock finish. Didn't see Bianca winning. Overall, great show for night one. I like mostly everything. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It didn't have a WrestleMania vibe to it in some points. But it is what it is, man. I'm just glad fans are back. Everything looked great. He also says, Bad Bunny doing a Canadian Destroyer. My jaw dropped to the floor. That was a crazy spot. Tonight's show was a fun night. Nothing really pissed me off. Thank you, Cool Jags. I appreciate the $20 super chat, man. Riho McLovin. I don't know why I called you Riho. I just like saying Riho the way I do. Rio McLovin. Canadian $5 super chat. Bad Bunny versus Enzo. Book it. I'm joking. What's up, JD and OTS family? Rio, thank you so much for the $5 super chat, man. Munchie Time with a $50 super chat. Two best matches were Rollins and Cesaro, Belair and Banks. Thought for sure Drew was going to win, but I like the outcome. Tag team turmoil and steel cage match were trash. Bad Bunny surprised the hell out of me, and he earned respect from the fans. Almost looks better than Braun. I will give you that. I don't have any faith in Omos long term. In fact, I won't be surprised if Vince McMahon wants Keith Lee to work the same style as Omos. Can you imagine that? That's what Vince McMahon did to Keith Lee. Sent him down to the Performance Center to work like Omos. Raisin Brand 151 with a $20 super chat. Night one was a decent show tonight outside of the couple of duds within. Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks was a much better main event than Becky versus Ronda versus Charlotte. I agree with that 1,000%. Who had the better debut, JD? Bunny, Shaq, or McAfee? I'm going with Pat McAfee, man. That match was fucking awesome. Cool Jags with another $4.99 super chat. The scar on Sasha's ribcage after the whip crack. Holy shit. That looked painful as fuck. That was awesome. I don't know how they got that sound effect, if that was genuine or if they added that post-edit there. But man, oh man. Or maybe, you know, with the leather outfit that Sasha Banks was wearing, I could see that with the ferocity that Bianca used while whipping that hair. I could see that really just bouncing off Sasha's leather and making that noise. That was awesome. We got DLK Games with a $5 UK super chat. Love the hard work you put into your craft. Screw the haters, JD. Number one, also, who do you think was MVP tonight? Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny was the MVP, and I'm going to go with Cesaro. Hula Grim with a $10 super chat. I give night one of Mania a thumbs up for that main event. The women smashed it. And Dana Brooks' nipple slip. Maybe that was the MVP of the show. I missed it. Not that I give a shit, but whatever, man. Back to catering you go, Dana. Jacob Donnelly with a $50 super chat. Let me refresh this because YouTube is really messing things up here, man. I just refreshed all of this and I lost Jacob's super chat. There he is. $50 super chat. Thank you, Jacob, my brother. I thought night one was fun, but I'm looking forward to tomorrow more. The main event was fantastic, and I'm happy for Bianca Just hope she doesn't fall into the typical WWE babyface trap like McIntyre, Kofi, and Rollins when they were champions. This is exactly what I said, Jacob. WWE has a terrible, terrible track record for babyfaces. They do not deserve the benefit of the doubt. They don't. And we'll see what happens. But I'm not trusting the WWE process for Bianca Belair. I'm not at all. This is why I don't think she should have won the championship tonight. Reese with a $4.99 super chat. I was hoping Sasha would turn heel at the end, especially considering Cole said she kicked out, but I'm still happy Bianca won and got her moment. I look at it different. I don't think Bianca should have won. I think Sasha Banks should have closed the show as SmackDown Women's Champion. Jaden Vlogs, $9.99 super chat. I didn't watch the show. I only watched 2 matches, so I heard about the girl that fell. But I'll talk to you later. I'm about to go rewatch it. You go do that, Jaden. And the girl that fell was Mandy Rose. Hula Grim with a $5 super chat. That hair whip, though, yikes. Bro, that shit sounded like a fucking Walter chop on steroids, bro. And Walter already fucking peels the skin off of your fucking bone when he chops you. Awesome. What is your Mount Rushmore of worst WrestleManias, says Tenario128 with a $10 super chat. I have to get back to you on that one, Tenario. WrestleMania typically is one of the worst book shows of the entire year. So I would have to get back to you on that one. Mr. Zacky Boy with a $5 UK super chat. My girl Sasha Banks is the Atlanta Braves of WrestleMania. Always chokes. Zacky Boy, listen, I'm gonna have to kick you out of the venue for being disrespectful, bro. Really. The Braves are actually waking up, man. They won again. P.S. Fuck the Mets. Fuck the Mets. Okay? I apologize in advance if Kevin Castle's in the chat. Nevertheless, she stole the show. Keep up the good work. OTS for life. Thank you, Mr. Zacky Boy. I appreciate you. Coiled Phoenix with a $100 super chat. Awesome. Night 1 was good. Not as good as NXT, but I'm glad that the matches I was invested in ended up being the way that they should have, except for the tag team turmoil, which Riot Squad should have won, and Sasha losing to Bianca. Looking forward to the review, and always much love. Coiled Phoenix, thank you so much for the $100 super chat, and really thank you for all of the support lately. You're sitting VIP with me, and nobody better question. Lauren Hutton with a $2 super chat. Sasha is now 0-6 at Mania. Why WWE? I have no idea, Lauren. None. Sasha Banks deserves better, to be honest with you. Chris Hassel with a $19.99 super chat. Hey, JD, what's up? I actually went to WrestleMania tonight. Thank you for being the best WWE and AEW podcaster, along with BC Amplified. BC's my boy, bro. BC is good peeps. He's been over the house. He knows. Good show tonight. But it would have been way better if you and BC were in charge of creative. Bro, me and BC would turn things around and we'd whip people into shape. Believe me. Prince with a $9.99 super chat. I'm sorry. $9.99 super chat. What's up, JD? Love the channel. Naomi had the biggest pop for her match, but yet she loses. Send her to SmackDown. Give her something else other than a pointless tag team with Lana. Prince, let me tell you something. The tag team division in the women's division, most of the teams are pointless. There's not one real team in that women's division outside of the Riot Squad. Bradley Robinette with a $5 super chat. JD, my birthday is today. Hope night 2 of WrestleMania is better. I'm expecting it to be better, Bradley. Happy birthday. Happy birthday from the OTS family. Everybody in the chat, give me a birthday cake for Bradley Robinette. Joshua Snyder with a $10 super chat. I didn't like the way the championship match ended. Made Drew look so bad and stupid. And I hate to say it, but the Bad Bunny match wasn't the worst in night one. I expected it. And congrats to Bianca. I think everybody expected the Bad Bunny match to shit the bed, but he didn't, man. Props to Bad Bunny. May not be a fan of his music, but Jesus Christ, the guy worked his ass off and delivered a WrestleMania match that a lot of people wish that they could. Good for him. DBO with a $1.99 UK super chat and no message. DBO, don't be shy, bro. Don't be shy. Otherwise, the bouncer's going to kick you out. Make sure to tip your bartender. Isaiah Plays with a $4.99 super chat. I think with Bob Lashley winning, Roman will win tomorrow and Edge will go to Raw and beat Lashley at SummerSlam. I could see it, but you got to give me a reason as to why Edge is going to Raw to challenge for the WWE Championship. You just can't thrust him into a championship program without having him beat guys along the way. If you want to have him beat AJ Styles or a Kofi or a Jeff Hardy or guys like that, and then put him in a championship match, I'm fine with that. Then maybe we get Roman versus Edge at Survivor Series in the one-on-one match. And who wins that? That's an easy one, Roman. Rod Mosley with a $25 super chat. He deletes his message. Rodney, why are you shy, bro? Why are you shy? You ordered a drink at the bar and nobody came up to pick up the fucking drink. So I took it. P Mac with a $10 super chat. This company loves to fuck with Sasha, giving her a 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 8 days, 14 days title with the belt. Then a bad SmackDown title run, now giving her the opposite of Undertaker's streak. 0-6 at WrestleMania. Is it 0-6 or 0-7? P-Mac, I know. We love Sasha. She'll get that WrestleMania win. Maybe WWE is low-key not even realizing that they're doing something with Sasha at WrestleMania and they're going to build a storyline around it one of these years. Who knows? Moises Gonzalez with a $4.99 super chat. Congrats, Bianca. Good. Give Bad Bunny his props, you goon. Love the podcast. Can't wait for the NXT reviews to return. Tuesday is the day I will be here live. Live tomorrow night for night 2. Live on Raw after the show is over. And then live on Tuesday night for NXT. And then live on Wednesday. Prince with the $4.99 super chat. Happy Bobby won and beyond happy that Bianca won. And her and Sasha got to main event. She just proves why she is the best, win or lose. Depends on what they do with Sasha after this, man. I don't know. I don't even know what they do with Bianca. John Owens with a $1.99 super chat. I was shocked that Sasha lost. I'm not shocked. I'm just disappointed. Hooligan with a $5 super chat. Did you bench Mean Marky D? No, I did not. I didn't even know there was a Mean Marky D in the chat. It's probably some troll who's a big super fan of Mean Marky D. It might have been Rage. I don't know. Or it might have been Hoot Media. I have no idea. Mr. Cake with a $2 super chat. Loved the pirate set. Needed more Ailstorm, though. Not a fan, bro. Not a fan. P-Mac with a $2 super chat. The Velcro on the titles make it look like a toy. I never liked the Velcro on any of the titles. Munchie Time with a $5 super chat. This theme makes me want to play some Sea of Thieves and plunder enemy ships. Love the stage setup. Overall, I'd say it was a 7.5 out of 10. Cheers, JD. Not bad. I love the set, though, Munchie. I appreciate you. Vampiric Rage with a $2.99 super chat. Bad Bunny with a fire emoji. I guess you love the match tonight. Vampiric Rage. Thank you for the $2.99 super chat. Josh Nelson with a $5 super chat. I don't, man. It felt like a glorified Monday Night Raw, but I guess the beers added to the entertainment. At some points, Josh, it did feel like a glorified Monday Night Raw with a WrestleMania live crowd. But ultimately, in the end, it was a thumbs-up show. I'm a realist. I'm not a hater. Holy shit. Paul Wu with a $300 super shot. Paul Wu. Woo! Man, oh man. Paul Wu, you fucking beast, man. You might as well just fucking buy stock in the venue at this point. You can't deny at 29 years old, Sasha Banks is the best women's wrestler on the planet. That match was main event worthy. This super chat was supposed to go towards my WrestleMania trip expenses, but the build was so poor, I decided to invest it into JD and the OTS family instead. Thank you, mods. Paul Wu, you're a fucking gentleman and a scholar and a VIP beast, bro. If I have a meet and greet and we're anywhere for one of these big shows, man, I'm buying you your drinks all night. Thank you so much for that, brother. I really appreciate you. JDE with a $5 super chat. 0-6 at Mania is said. Happy for Bianca, but why does Sasha keep getting X to put people over and not win at Mania? Unfair to Sasha. Just take what I said, man, and really hold on to it. I don't think Sasha was going to put over Bianca unless WWE had a solid plan to elevate Bianca and elevate that championship. She didn't want another women's tag team championship to happen. Situation to happen with the Iconics. I find it very hard to believe. That woman is a lot smarter than we really realize. She knows what she's doing. Candell with a $1.99 super chat. My first WrestleMania live, the energy was there. Sounded like it. Hopefully there is just as much energy for night 2, which I think is going to be the better show. Mr. Cake with a $2 super chat. Hate how WWE does a good show by flip of a switch. That's what happens with WWE, man. Their mentality is have absolutely bottom of the barrel expectations and then over-deliver. Because there's no point, there's no way WWE is going to be as bad as they were for the build of this show. That's what they do. That's what they do. We got a $4.99 super chat from the Pipe Bomb Sports Show. Since Lashley retained tonight, does your opinion for tomorrow's triple threat match for the title change now? Does Roman lose the title? No. In fact, with Lashley retaining and Bianca winning, I actually feel a little bit more comfortable in Roman retaining the title because Vince sent the crowd home happy tonight with Bianca Belair. And he might have given us the ending that we got tonight because Roman is retaining the title. Could be. Bobby Means with a $5 super chat. Hello there, JD206. Completely left out the New York, by the way. Why do people call me JD206? Just call me JD. The fuck is a JD206? It's me, Bobby. I agree with you about tonight. I give it a thumbs up. When my beard grows back, I challenge you and your beard in a face-off. Not gonna happen, Bobby. Your beard is not going to be as epic as my beard. Why? Because I got the salt and pepper in my beard, something that a lot of guys would absolutely kill for. So by that alone, my beard is greater than your beard. Hula Grim, $5 super chat. Mean Marky D is greater than Dana Brooks' udders. I would have to agree. Oh, believe me, Mean Marky D is going to have a field day with Dana Brooks' nipple slip. He may actually fire Dana and bring in Bruce. Michael Mirza with a $10 super chat. Keep telling it how it is, you beast. I haven't felt that level of go-away heat from you since Eva Marie. I gotta ask JD, who is worse, Billie Kay or Eva Marie? You know what? I'm gonna take Billie Kay, man. At least Eva Marie is better to look at. Just my personal preference. Don't kill me, people. PMAC, $5 super chat. I just realized WWE gives all African-American females a short title run. Jacqueline a month, Jazz a month, Naomi a month, Sasha a few months, Bianca, question mark. Like I said, Becky's coming back. Becky's getting the title. Bianca is doomed. Bianca is a transitional champion. I can't wait to see all the people cry rivers of tears when Bianca loses the championship. Mr. Dumico, Endurance, with a $4.99 super chat. Roman versus Cesaro at SummerSlam or WrestleMania 38. Superman punch for Swiss Superman. I can see that as the selling point, or at least Cesaro wins the 2022 Royal Rumble. I don't think Cesaro's push is going to last that long, man. Vince gets bored very quickly. But yes, Cesaro deserves a push. Absolutely, after tonight. Double O with a $7 super chat. What's up, JD? Been a fan since 2016, and you have the best wrestling review podcast. I know. Thank you, Double O. I genuinely mean that. Keep up the good work. Hashtag solid WrestleMania night one. Indeed it was. Munchie Time with a $5 super chat. I'm surprised that the Beaver didn't play the train sound effect in this match. I mean, well, you got live fucking fans there. The fans should have did the wee, but they didn't. Or I guess not Roman. God forbid Roman. I guess Braun couldn't do it because he didn't have the outside of the ring accessible to him. Maybe that was to our benefit, to be quite honest with you. Mr. Cake with a $5 super chat. Watching Seth hit a corkscrew frog splash made me think of Ricochet and how he could probably do a double corkscrew frog splash if he wanted to. Mr. Cake, he more than likely could, but you'll never see it because they got him knee-deep in Titus Catering. Jericho, 81-31. I forgot where I read it, but allegedly when Shane re-signed with WWE, a perk in his contract was a WrestleMania match whenever he wanted. Explains a lot. Get this man away from the ring. He wanted a WrestleMania match this year against Braun Strowman? Shane McMahon must feel like an idiot. The fuck wants to be in the ring with Braun Strowman? Chris Hassel with a $9.99 super chat. Today is the 11th, and it's also my birthday. May I get a birthday shout out and call me a goon? Chris, happy birthday, you fucking goon. Thank you for the $9.99 super chat, bro. I appreciate you. Bro, listen, it's 2 o'clock in the morning and we still have 2,600 peak viewers. I don't know what that says about me. Well, I know what it says about me. I'm the fucking best at what I do. But I don't know what it says about you guys, man. Either you can't sleep, you're up drinking, you're partying, or you're just bored. Or maybe you came over from one of these other fucking shitty podcasts that fucking suck, and you came here to get the real scoop. It's probably it. I know. Mr. Cake with a $2 super chat. Bad Bunny sold more than most modern wrestlers. Shame. Bro, Bad Bunny is a better seller than Charlotte Flair. Bad Bunny sells better than Charlotte Flair. Just throwing that out there. He also says with the $10 super chat, I teared up watching the main event. Dusty would be proud of what Sasha and Bianca did tonight. What's it say about Charlotte that she has 2 wins over Bianca, but Sasha put her over in the main event of WrestleMania? Bro, Charlotte couldn't put Bianca over the way Sasha did it if she tried. Charlotte puts nobody over but Charlotte Flair. And the show did not miss her at all. Justin Strickland with a $4.99 super chat. Not only did Bad Bunny wrestle great, but he did more selling in his match than that of the android, Charlotte Flair. I know I'm not the only one who says that or thinks that, folks. I love it. I love my fans, bro. I love my subscribers. They know what's up. Jermaine Presley. This was the wrong outcome in the main event. Why? Because Bianca has no opponents on SmackDown. She went through all the heels there. Thus, Becky Lynch is set to come back. Issa, the NYC Demon Diva, with a $2.99 super chat. She says, so proud of my guy, with a heart emoji and a bunny emoji. Issa, I gotta give props to your boo. He performed tonight and everybody should be proud. Thank you for the $2.99. I appreciate you. Justin Strickland with a $4.99 super chat. Kudos to the ref for not calling a DQ after Bianca hit Sasha with the hair whip. Why would she? It's part of her anatomy. The ref thought about it, but instead he let the match continue. And she's done that in NXT. It's not a DQ. It's part of the anatomy. It's part of her being. Why would they call for a disqualification? Eric for money with a $4.99 super chat. On Friday, November 1st, 2019, I was at a Bad Bunny concert in the DMV. Before he came out, he played a live feed on the Jumbotron of when NXT invaded SmackDown. Good for him. He's a fan. It's great. Mr. Cake with a $2 super chat. Kudos to X-Pac for giving Bayley the too sweet. Yeah, fuck Kevin Nash. He did one of these. He pulled the old Ric Flair. Darius the Official with a $4.99 super chat. Cesaro versus Rollins match was the match of the night for me. Also, hopefully the crowd is alive for tomorrow's night too. Anyways, keep up the hard work. Darius, thank you, brother. Rob Mash with a $5 super chat. I would have loved if Becky Lynch came out on Bianca winning the title. I was expecting it myself, but it didn't happen. I think they're saving that for maybe night 2. And if not, she'll be back very, very soon. Making it better to close out the event on a great note. If Becky came out at the end of the Bianca win, it would take away from Bianca and overshadow Bianca. You don't want to do that. Because they did that with Ronda Rousey after Asuka won the Royal Rumble. Ronda Rousey came out at the Royal Rumble and overshadowed everything that Asuka did in the Royal Rumble. Theo with a $4.99 super chat. Dude, JD, that women's match should be match of the year, and please do the Strowman Express voice. It's the best thing you've ever done on your show. I love your show. Whee! I would do it a lot better and a lot louder, but my voice is fading on me. Fucking tired, man. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Furious Nation, $5 super chat. JD from NY 206 and DJ Storms are 2 of the GOATs of the IWC, big inspirations, and 2 of the reasons why I started a Wrestling Channel podcast in late August. Well, I don't know about that other guy, but I appreciate you, Furious Nation. Thank you so much, man. Indigo, $10 super chat. Hey, JD, much respect. Episode 6 of Critiques and Connoisseurs was too fire. I agree with you on what you said regarding Sasha. LOL, I legit missed the women's tag match because I was eating. Anyways, another awesome live stream. Thank you, Indigo. I see all your messages, brother. I'm glad you enjoy the live streams weekly. Critiques and Connoisseurs, guys, in the chat. If you have not checked out my other project, which is only growing leaps and bounds, we got Critiques and Connoisseurs with my boy Hodge Jason. We uploaded a great video today. You guys can go find the link to that in the description below. We talked about The Undertaker, and there's no better figure in WWE history to talk about during WrestleMania weekend than The Undertaker. We drink The Undertaker wine, and we talk about the best moments from The Undertaker's career, best matches, best feuds, who should have broken the streak if it wasn't Brock Lesnar. Everything you need is linked down below in the description. Go and check it out, man. Critiques and Connoisseurs. Moving on with the rest of these super chats. Thank you, Indigo, for the $10 super chat. Chris Morabitu with a $5 super chat. Thanks for your opinion, JD. Always appreciate your opinion. I was at Janela's spring break last night. Thoughts on Moxley calling out Nick fucking Gage? I don't care. I do not care. Good for Moxley, though. He's doing what he loves to do. Jermaine Presley with a $5 super chat. I feel Sasha is leaving to go film season 3 of The Mandalorian. If Bianca doesn't bring up the rating while Sasha is gone, Becky is taking the title. If Becky takes the title, the rating is not going to move either. I don't know why people think Becky's going to move the needle as far as the ratings go. She may pop a rating for the first couple of weeks, but after that, right back to where it was. Isaiah Plays with a $9.99 super chat. Hey, JD, do you agree with this? Adam Cole, Tessa Blanchard, Jordan Grace, Io Shirai will debut for WWE in the coming weeks and months. Do you have any more to add to that list? Jordan Grace should go to AEW. She doesn't need WWE. Io Shirai more than likely is going to the main roster. Don't know where she ends up. They'll probably put her on Raw since Becky's coming back to SmackDown. Adam Cole, I'm terrified of because not only did they change his theme music, ruin his identity through that, I just have a feeling he's going to get buried because of his size. And Tessa Blanchard, I don't really care where she ends up. She's good enough to be a world champion in any promotion, but I do think that she's going to NXT. Furious Nation with a $5 super chat. Cesaro doing the UFO tonight on Seth effortlessly was easily the highlight of the night, and one loss to Cesaro isn't going to hurt Seth Rollins. Of course it's not. Seth should be in the business to put people over, and that's the right guy to be putting over. Faith Rebecca Henderson with a $5 super chat. This is my second WrestleMania. I went from knowing zero about wrestling to looking forward to it and your show. Big support from Faith and Bucky Boy 816. Faith, if I could teach you anything, I'm glad that I could teach you. Thank you for the $5 super chat, and I'm glad you enjoy the show. Jaxo23 with a $4.99 super chat. Sasha and Bianca were great, and Cesaro Rollins was also great. I can't wait for night 2. Also, go White Sox and screw the Twins. I think Jesse's a White Sox fan. Fuck the Sox. Go Cubs. Reese with the $4.99 super chat. JD, if the tag team and women's divisions were merged, what shows would each divisions be on? I don't know, Reese. Do you know the definition of merging? If the women's divisions and the tag team divisions were merged, both Raw and SmackDown would have the women's and tag team divisions. Type G with a $1.99 super chat. No message. Don't be shy, bro. Remember to tip your bartender inside the venue. Josh Nelson, $5 super chat. I completely agree with you. How the fuck do you fuck up a talent like Bobby Roode? WWE is an absolute complete demotion. Who said that they fucked up Bobby Roode? Jesse says, fuck you and the Braves. Okay, geek. Listen, man, it's last call in the venue. Make sure you go collect all the glassware sitting around the venue, bro. Bobby Roode is where Bobby Roode should be. I gave up on Bobby Roode and them doing right by Bobby Roode 3 years ago. Tenorio, $10 super chat. Do you think WrestleMania 19 is underrated? No. Hooligan with the $2 super chat. I meant, why was Mean Marky D not on at the intro? Mean Marky D wasn't on at the intro? Oh my God, man. Mean Marky D wasn't on the intro. Oh man, I fucked up. Mean Marky D got deleted. I just realized what happened to Mean Marky D, man. I don't think you guys heard any music then. I don't think you guys heard any music in the beginning. Did you guys even hear me in the beginning? Wow, I fucked up the beginning, man. You know what? I'm doing this right now. Getting rid of it. Don't worry. You guys will see. No music. No intro. It's great. No pilot. Oh my goodness, man. That pisses me off, man. I'm sitting here shocked that I fucked up the intro. I had all this. No, I'm not playing it now. Nobody gives a fuck about it now. Oh, well, you got to see the beautiful intro. You guys got to watch the beautiful intro, man. Paul Jackson, 1988, with a $5 super chat. Good night, one. Good night, one. Overall, will Lashley remain WWE champion until SummerSlam and finally face Brock Lesnar? Maybe. Maybe. I'd like to see it. Isaiah Plays, $4.99 super chat. Is there an indie promotion you like that you don't talk about? I personally love MLW. No. I'm waiting to get back to work at Hog. Fox with a $4.99 super chat. Me, Marky D, was removed from the intro and sent to catering tonight. Yes, I'll have a word with him. Thank you. Double O. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Today is my birthday. Please shout me out. Also, what if Daniel Bryan wins the SmackDown Universal title tomorrow? I'm not going to have a problem with that. I'm not going to have a problem with that at all. And happy birthday, Double O. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Chad Hopper with a $5 super chat. Hit that like button, you goons. Love the work you do, JD. Thank you so much, Chad Hopper. Jaxo23 with a $4.99 super chat. Did you hear that Tom Phillips is getting replaced on the Raw commentary team? Also, Braun Strowman is stupid. Also, Braun Strowman chops wood for Kevin Dunn. Tom Phillips, I did tweet about that. I have no idea what's going on with that. No idea what's going on with that. I hope to find out more in the days to come, but apparently he's not going to be on Monday Night Raw starting Monday. And you guys saw Michael Cole do the whole show and no Tom Phillips during the Monday Night Raw matches. Isaiah Plays with a $1.99 super chat. There's a 79% chance of rain tomorrow. Hopefully we don't get a long delay like we did, because I'd love to end this show early. Coiled Phoenix with a $50 super chat. Thanks for the VIP. I appreciate it. And this whole thing with Mandy and Dana needs to be erased from all humanity, especially after tonight. I also have to ask you, did you catch the spot where Dana tagged in by smacking Mandy on her ass? No. I was too busy tweeting about her botch earlier in the show. Thank you, Cole Phoenix, with the $50 super chat after your $100 super chat before. Really appreciate you. Raisin Brand 151 with a $5 super chat. What do you think will be WWE's plan for crowds going forward with their television shows? And we are about 200 away from 1.5K likes, goons. Guys, we are at 1372. Let's try and get to 1,500, man. Seriously. Thank you, Raisin Brand. Matthew with a Canadian $2. Is the Roman experiment still happening? Yes. Raging Girl Gamer with a $19.99 super chat. Don't have much to say. I'm tired and drunk. I can't even think. Feeling terrible. I hope everyone in the OTS family is doing good. Also, Bad Bunny did great. Yes, he did. Thank you, Rage. Hopefully you are feeling a lot better. The Fan from New York City, $5 super chat. That should be a t-shirt. Bad Bunny sells better than Charlotte. I'd buy one. I'd buy one for sure. Phil with a $19.99 super chat. What's up, JD? Not a bad show tonight whatsoever. I was 5-2 on my predictions tonight for night one. I got Lashley in the Turmoil match wrong. Respect to Bad Bunny. Can't wait for night two. I don't know what I got right. I don't know what I got right and what I got wrong. Mr. Cake with a $5 super chat. This super chat is to point and laugh at Brillo Head for saying Bianca wasn't takeover worthy. Also, here's some money for Cappuccino for killing it this week. Thank you, Mr. Cake. I appreciate it. I may need a couple tomorrow. You say 151 with a $2 super chat. Booyaka, booyaka, 206. Booyaka, booyaka, JD. Great. Raging Girl Gamer with the $4.99 super chat. Me, Marky D, didn't get benched by me. He left the chat. Well, maybe because the real Mean Marky D was botched in the beginning. I'll have a word with him tomorrow. I will address him tomorrow. Peyton Joshua, 18 with the $2 super chat. You and BC are my guys. Keep it up. Thank you, Peyton Joshua. Ashton with a $4.99 super chat. If you were a wrestler, JD, you think Vince would book you to be Braun and you do the Braun Express against him? No. I'd quit the business. Tony Paul with a $4.99 super chat. Great show, JD. Love the pod. Been listening for a while. Now going to WrestleMania tomorrow specifically because it's more interesting of the two shows. I would have to agree, Tony Paul. Have a good time, man. Night 2 looks like it's going to be much better than night 1. Jay Wright, $5 super chat. Hey, JD, great main event between Sasha and Bianca Belair. Winning is all about creating new stars for the future, and she's definitely going to be one. We'll see. You're too easy to give WWE the benefit of the doubt. I am not in that business. Storm Jess with the $5 super chat. JD, love your show. Wish we could have the theme songs with lyrics again. Those were epic. And fuck Bill Goldberg. No theme songs with lyrics. They are old school and passé. We are moving on to bigger and better things because we need to separate ourselves from all the other trash in the IWC. Isaiah Plays with a $1.99 super chat. What do you think of Rollins' new theme? It sucks. Tony Paul, night 1. Feels like a warm-up to night 2, in my opinion, with the $1.99 super chat. Yes, it did. Rafael DeLuna with a $1.99 super chat. The venue is greater than Titus Catering. The venue is greater than everything. Why? Because I designed it. Well, I didn't really design it, but it was my vision. And then Jaxo23 with a $4.99 super chat. I can't wait to see Big E versus Apollo Crews tomorrow. Also, Corey Graves is going to Raw for commentary. And I can't wait for the debut of Taya Valkyrie, who apparently is going to be named Frankie Monet, I believe. J. Ray, $5 super chat. JD, you said a few shows ago that Bobby Lashley wasn't the guy to lead Monday Night Raw, but actually he is at least until SummerSlam. No, he's not. Bobby Lashley's not the guy. Bobby Lashley is the only guy right now that is capable of holding the WWE Championship. There's a big difference. And Tony Paul with a $1.99 super chat. I'll get you a free pizza on me, man, if you remember. I love pizza, bro. I will never turn down any pizza whatsoever. Guys, it's about that time. It's 2:30 in the morning. I got another show to cover tomorrow, and I swear on my grandfather's grave, bro, I hope every single one of you guys is right back here on night 2 for the podcast, man. We did 3,600. I expect even greater tomorrow night. Why? Because I'm going to be here. We do it better than anybody. And night 2 should be better than night 1. I apologize for the botch in the intro. If you guys are watching on YouTube, you guys on Spotify and iTunes don't really matter because I don't really put it on there. Me and Marky D will be back tomorrow. I promise. Me and Marky D will have a nice little talk with me, and I'll make the intro epic. He's got to, otherwise he's going to get benched. Will Dana mention the nip slip? We'll see. But guys, please hit that thumbs up, man. We are 1,339 likes. Let's try for 1,500, man. You guys are still 2,400 large in the chat. Let's see those likes up to 1,500, man. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for all that you've done here tonight. I appreciate you spending your time with me tonight. And I will be back tomorrow with night 2 right here on the podcast, guys. You know what time it is. I got my cold beverage. I'm getting in the Mustang. We're about to hit the road and get on out of here, man. Windows are down. That music. Full blast. Give me those guitar emojis in the chat right now. And I'll see you guys tonight for WrestleMania Night 2 right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.